On Swindon, barely perceptible difference. But the dazzling messages of World Cup '94 may well be reflected in our domestic season. Let's hope so anyway. Alongside me to provide the insight and keep you smiling is Jimmy Greaves, truly a legend on his own Sabbath.
True.
And as ever, we'll have the best of the rest from the Ensley League weekend. Wow. Let's waste no more time, though, as we approach our live game. Here's Gary Newbon down in sunny Wiltshire.
Swindon's target today is to try and emulate the other two teams who were relegated from the Premier League, Oldham and Sheffield United, who both had big wins yesterday. The transfer news here, surprisingly at this stage of the season, is that Swindon's John Gorman is hoping that his opposite number, Harry Redknapp, will let Joey Beecham come here on loan. Now, you may recall in June that Beecham went for £1 million to West Ham when he should have been coming here to Swindon. Now, the Oxford winger is very homesick and wants to come to Swindon. So, Jimmy Greaves, at least Swindon are thinking positively about improving their team.
Oh, I would think so, Garfield, definitely. Dear old Joe Beecham, the only man to get homesick in a traffic jam on the M40. Never mind.
How are they going to find the money, I wonder?
Well, apparently, I think when they sold Moncur to West Ham, West Ham haven't paid them the full amount so far, quite legitimately, and I think that they'll use that deal as a leverage to get Beecham at Swindon. It's all too embarrassing not for it to happen. I'm sure Beecham will be at Swindon.
OK, here we have one team coming up, another one coming down. They're coming out to play as well.
Yeah.
Who do you fancy?
Well, really, Vale are going to have to find their feet in this division. They've just come up. We've got to look at Swindon and say, well, they should really be setting an early pace, shouldn't they? Coming down from the Premier, they should really be in a situation where they're really going to show the new lads how to play. So you've got to say Swindon, but we know how tough Vale are. They won't be an easy team to knock over.
OK, shall we join the commentary team?
Yes,
Let's have a look at them, shall we?
Yeah.
Alan Parry and John
How
Sillett.
ugly can you get?
Welcome to sunny Wiltshire on a really beautiful day for the start of a new season, and as you said, a fascinating fixture between two clubs who were two divisions apart just a year ago. And John Sillett, so important for any club, I think, to start the new season on the right note.
Both managers will have their fingers crossed and everything else crossed, players and supporters alike. This is where all you hope is that your homework has all been done and that the pre-season training will come in and you'll play brilliantly on the first day.
Well, we've got a new commentary position here in a brand new stand. The Intel stand seats 5,000 and replaces the old Shrivenham Road stand, built in less than 3 months, and the county ground now all seated with a capacity of 15,000. New stand not the only thing that's changed here, and you'll see that when we take a look at their lineup. Glenn Hoddle, the most notable departure, along with Nicky Hazard, Nicky Summerby and John Moncur. In fact, only 5 of these players figured in the promotion season 2 years ago. Some big money arrivals: Mark Robinson, Adrian Whitbread, Luke Nyholt, Jan Fjortoft and Andy Much. And another newcomer since promotion, Terry Fennick, their most experienced player. He'll be in Hoddle's old sweeper role. The only player on view today who figured in the World Cup finals, Swindon's Jan Arge Fjortoft, who played in 2 of Norway's 3 games in the USA, and he was Swindon's top scorer last season with 13 goals. Port Vale lost 2 key men during the summer: midfielder Ian Taylor to Sheffield Wednesday, centre-half Peter Swan to Plymouth. In addition, they've lost 2 defenders through injury, Neil Aspin and Dean Stokes, and midfielder Paul Kerr can't play. He's on the transfer list. That's meant a lot of changes, with places for inexperienced defenders Sandeman, Tankard and Griffiths. A familiar new face in Vale's lineup is Lee Glover, signed for £200,000 from Nottingham Forest in the closed season. He made 18 appearances for Forest last season, scoring 5 goals, his best total in a season. So, this opening match of the First Division season for these two teams underway. Swindon all in red, attacking from right to left. Port Vale in the white shirts and black shorts. Good early header there from Fennick, who, as I mentioned, will play behind the 2 centre-halves in a new-look formation for Swindon. They didn't use that style too often last season. Mick Pearce of Portsmouth, today's referee. Martin Ling out on the right. And the cross was aimed towards Fjortoft. And eventually reaches the Norwegian, who turned quickly, and Much got the final shot in, but the whistle had already gone for offside.
Well, you've got a perfect day for football here. Breeze blowing as we're looking at it from here, left to right. You've got players who have been training, waiting for this moment. I just hope they produce the goods. Interesting to see Fenwick at the back sweeping. We'll see how that works for Swindon.
Bodin with the header to regain possession for Swindon. Taylor with an excellent long ball. Andy Much, the former Wolves man. Nyholt with a good ball out to Ling on the right. And the cross collected by Paul Musselwhite. Swindon, bottom of the Premiership, of course, last season with only 5 wins from their 42 league games, and they conceded exactly 100 goals. It was easy to see why they were in trouble. Bottom of the table right through the season. Free kick to Port Vale here, who had the opposite sort of season, of course. Runners-up in the 2nd division to Reading, just 1 point behind the champions. This is Bradley Sandeman. Useful cross. Van der Laan just missed it, though. Picked up again by Porter for Port Vale. Now Van der Laan, the Dutchman. An excellent ball, finds Kent. Looked for Foyle on the far post, and the centre-half Taylor got it away. Kent again, nice skill on the ball by him. Lee Glover finding Porter. This is Sandeman. Now Paul Bodin, the Welsh international for Swindon. This is Andy Much, £250,000 a year ago from Wolves. Sloppy layoff then. And Bodin forced to bring down Andy Porter. Captaining Swindon today, by the way, Paul Bodin. Foyle, the likely target for Sandeman's floated free kick. Wasn't a good one, though. Comes back out to Porter. 25-year-old who's been with the club since he left school, Andy Porter. Over 200 appearances for Port Vale now.
I'm just looking at the formations here, and Port Vale are playing 4-4-2, 4 across the middle of the park, whereas Swindon have got 3 men in the middle of the park. And talking to John Nudge before, he possibly was a little worried about the extra man Swindon would have in midfield.
Van der Laan. Sandeman had to turn towards his own goal and has given the ball away to Luke Nyholt, Dutchman who plays in midfield for Swindon. A little flick on by Fjortoft. Nyholt again. And Jeffers felt he'd been impeded then by Mark Robinson. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. Terry Fenwick, 34 now, former England international. Looking for Andy Much, who got the touch on ahead of Alan Tankard. Let's have a quick look at the substitutes today. For Swindon, Keith Scott, the striker, Wayne O'Sullivan, a young midfield player, and reserve keeper Nicky Hammond. Peter Billing, the ex-Coventry centre-half, Ray Walker, veteran for Port Vale in midfield, and Van Hoosden, the new reserve goalkeeper. Van der Laan. Glover. Kent. Sandeman makes the overlapping run. And a good challenge by Kevin Horlock in his 3rd season here at the county ground since moving from West Ham. Glover turned away from his man beautifully then, but the ball didn't run kindly. Much's header finds Fjortoft offside. No, attacking players are going to get the benefit of the doubt in offside situations this season, but not that kind of situation. Fjortoft must have been 10 yards offside.
It'll be interesting to see how the number 5 Griffiths handles this problem of Much, because he's a young boy, he's only played 4 games, and they think highly of him. It'll be just interesting how he starts the first 20 minutes.
Much got there ahead of him on that occasion. Nyholt. Mark Robinson on the right. Club's record signing. This is Fenwick. Martin Ling. Much. It's good play, and that's why they use these two attacking fullbacks, Robinson and Bodin. The ball played into Fjortov. Was that a handball? Well, it looks suspiciously like deliberate handball to me, and certainly there was a very loud appeal from the Swindon crowd. We might have another look at that as Port Vale go on the counter-attack. Taylor's clearance goes straight to Kent. Bodin with the interception for Swindon, and he gets the free kick.
I have my doubts about that. The boy's gone for a tackle. The ball has struck his hand as he's gone in, but he's gone to play the ball and it ricochets back onto his hand. Wasn't deliberate handball in my opinion.
That was a deliberate foul, though, decides the referee on Fjortov. Free kick to Swindon. We can have a look at that incident again here, John.
Here it is, it's just coming across now. The boy rolls over, strikes his hand, but he can't stop that, Roy. He can't get out of the way of that ball. Good decision by the referee. JS's opinion, anyway.
Swindon's throw, or has it gone for a corner? In fact, it is a throw, almost on the corner flag. And Bodin will try and turn it into a corner almost. He can hurl the ball a long way towards Fjortov. And out of that situation, they get a corner from Sandeman's clearance.
This could be the danger. The big central defenders are coming up. And as we know, Sean Taylor, an expert at set pieces in the air.
Sean Taylor and Adrian Whitbread, both 6'2". The best flighted kick, though. Ling knocks it back into the danger zone. Van der Laan away again. And Ling keeps the pressure on Port Vale. Good clearance then by Gareth Griffiths. Bodin knocking it forward. Your top with a little back heel. It's a lovely one to haul off. And the cross, a searching one, but just beyond the reach of Whitbread. Fennick. Good spell this for Swindon. That was a dangerous ball by Fennick, and well read and intercepted by Kevin Kent. It's a fine run too. He's got Foyle ahead of him, but he's offside. But I'm surprised that Terry Fennick, a player of his experience, chose to play such a dangerous ball then.
As you say, a very dangerous play. Across the middle of the park, if it's cut out, everybody in the middle of the park is left for dead.
Fjortov getting up, but not winning it. Sandeman. Glover. Van der Laan helps it on. Tankard. Jeffers on the left flank. And that's a Swindon throw.
Good spotting by the referee there. There was a little deflection.
Easy clearance by Dean Glover, the captain of Port Vale. The only outfield player who played in every single league game last season, Dean Glover. Jeffers on to Foyle. Taylor held him off well, but now he's slipped and he's in trouble. Lee Glover. Kent is in the middle. He can try again. And it's a better cross. Kent beaten to it by Bodin. Porter heads it on. Easy then for Fraser Digby.
Fennick started off a little bit casually. I'd like to see him just pick it up and just pick the pace up and the tempo up. He's trying to look the cool, neat player at the back, and there's been a couple of iffy mistakes he's made up to now.
A little over 10 minutes gone, still Swindon 0, Port Vale 0. Much's downward header, almost found his striking partner Fjortov. This is Kent to Foyle. Fennick plays it forward to Much. Porlock going in strong. And now Bodin, who certainly is strong, powerfully built. Fjortoft is offside. That looked a dubious decision to me. I thought he was onside there.
Well, I think we're all waiting to see what's going to happen with this new offside rule, but there again, the linesman was spot on. He was looking across the line, and yes, he is definitely in an offside position. So therefore, the linesman is quite right. Good decision by the linesman. Referee acknowledged it quickly.
Van der Laan finding Jeffers. Foyle. Jeffers does well, but can't make the cross. Tankard. Van der Laan, he dwelt a little too long on the ball. And nice skill from Andy Much. Robinson with the forward pass. Horlock races onto it, and that'll be a goal kick.
Interesting thing, walking across to our commentary point, I couldn't believe how long and thick the grass was on the pitch. And just watching the start there, players are getting caught in possession. The ball is sticking under their feet at times. It's very, very thick, that surface. It looks beautiful and you need it at the moment, but it's very difficult to play on. The ball wouldn't be as rolling, as nice as you would hope it would be at this stage.
Van der Laan got up superbly then to find Foyle, and a good ball forward to Lee Glover. And Glover has got round Robinson and gets the shot in. That would have been an excellent goal. Pulled just wide of the far post. Typical piece of quick thinking and lovely skill by Glover.
Yeah, interesting move. Good flick on, as you said, by Van der Laan. It's a nice touch to it, and Glover was quickly onto it. There he is, a good run across, has his touch, brings it inside, and makes outside to his left foot, strike just off target. But good play, good movement, good touch, and unlucky with the shot. Just get it on target next time.
Fjortoft mistiming the attempted header. Tankard plays it back to the goalkeeper, and Musselwhite not too sure with his kick. At least he got it away. But Bodin wins it back for Swindon. Now Ling, Nyholt, Fjortoft, Horlock. Never really got any strength behind the shot, and in fact has only scored once in over 50 appearances for Swindon Town. Kevin Horlock. Sandeman. It's a decent looking ball. Foyle turns it on to Glover, and back again to Foyle. Chance here for Port Vale. Well, it was an interesting effort by Foyle. Whether he was just trying to float it to the far post or try and beat the goalkeeper, only he knows.
Interesting move. They looked in a bit of trouble at the back, Swindon there. There was players running off them, and they allowed them to run off. The cross was just slightly overweighted. Otherwise, they were in with a good chance here, Port Vale. It was a good creation and good opening there.
They got big Gareth Griffiths, 6'4" on the near post, but it never reached him. It comes back out to Porter, who didn't catch it properly either. Well played, Andy Much then. The long ball by Fjortoft, and Much is onside. Chance here for Swindon. Well played, Paul Musselwhite. An opening comes from absolutely nothing, and Paul Musselwhite doing the job really one of his central defenders should have been doing, with the sliding tackle outside the penalty area. So we've had a chance at either end inside a minute, and now Lee Glover's offside. Came from nothing, this, John.
Yeah, it was a good move, actually. It's a good run. I doubted whether he's offside, but when the ball's played, I think he's level, so therefore he's okay. He's gone through, just overweighted his touch here. His touch needed to be a little bit better, but Musselwhite came and spread himself really well. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, Musselwhite.
Taylor stabs it forward again towards Much, who's causing some problems to the Port Vale defenders. Experienced player, of course. He scored more than 100 goals for Wolves in over 300 appearances, and had that marvellous combination for so long with Bully. So many goals between them. Disappointing free kick.
Yes, you've got three quality headers of a ball there, and you've just got to pick one out. The service is vital on these set pieces.
Ling for Swindon. Tries to find much in the space again. And once more, Musselwhite has to act almost as a sweeper.
Well, the young boy Griffiths is controlling things at the moment. He's doing the talking. He shouldn't be. He's only a youngster, and they're getting caught square.
Whistle's gone for a free kick against Foyle there.
You know, Alan, on 2 occasions we've had the Port Vale back 3 and 4 as square as a barn door. They've got to be very, very watchful.
Yortoft almost got in behind Dean Glover then. But Paul Musselwhite seems totally in control of everything in and around his penalty area, the Vale keeper. Sandeman. Porter. Vanderlaan lets it run on to Alan Tankard. Strong in the challenge there, Vanderlaan. And then brought down. I think he was rather looking for that and fooled the referee, frankly, as he clashed with his fellow Dutchman, Luke Nijholt.
I think he tripped over his own bootlace there. No way for me.
Tankard. Vanderlaan gives it back to the left back. Jeffers on the left flank. He has conceded the free kick in his effort to win the ball back. John Gorman, who took over here when Glenn Hoddle moved on to Chelsea, almost went with him to Stamford Bridge, but the Swindon directors badly wanted him to stay here. And a lot of sympathy, I think, in the game for the plight he found himself in last season as Swindon were on the end of so many hammerings in the Premiership. Little money to spend. And still hasn't got much either. Porter finds Jeffers. Ball cross straight into his own supporters.
Yes, you're not looking for that type of cross at this stage of the match. You know, you've really got, there's Rudgy, same barber as me. But what a wonderful job he's done with his club, Port Vale. He's just made another marvellous sale with Taylor to Sheffield Wednesday. I think in his time there, I think you'll find he sold £4 million worth of players and has spent 2 bringing players back in. Good business, good manager.
Robinson with plenty of time on the ball, finds Horlock. Ling keeps it going out to Bodin on the left. Taylor. Much. Well played, Andy Much. Robinson. Well, he got himself caught between 2 stools there. And Porter comes out with the ball for Port Vale. Nobody seems able to keep it for long enough, but now Port Vale looking good on the break here. This is Kent. Foyle inside the penalty area, but could only flick it back for Jeffers, who'll do well to keep that in. Throw in to Swindon.
There was a couple of examples there of how difficult it is. The ball will stick in the long grass. It won't roll as quickly, and therefore you'll see players falling over and stumbling and making mistakes.
Bradley Sandeman, who was signed from Maidstone United when they went out of business. 20 minutes gone here, still 0-0 as Glover turns it forward for Foyle. Fenwick's interception, then Kent picks up the loose ball and finds Foyle inside the penalty area. Well, once again, he looked for that far post, but once again, his judgment wasn't quite spot on.
That's disappointing for me, because Foyle has done well to get in there, and for me, he should be striking that ball at goal. Because the goalkeeper, if it goes in really hard, here it is, the ball is played in behind there. He's got to look to be striking that ball at the target and hope the goalkeeper will make a deflection out to the oncoming forwards.
He's had a good pre-season, I gather, Martin Foyle, and has been top scorer at Port Vale in 2 of the last 3 seasons, but hasn't quite got his sights set properly yet. Musselwhite doesn't look terribly happy when the ball's played back to him. He hasn't kicked it well on the 2 occasions that's happened. But his other work, I must say, in the Vale goal has been outstanding so far. Fjortoft. And that's a great effort! Oh, what a superb goal by Fjortoft! 21 minutes gone, and Swindon Town's top scorer of last season fires them in front for the first time this season. Brilliant finish.
Flick on here, and he's on the turn, and he's right foot volley, a tremendous strike, wonderful strike. He's got that out of nothing, really, because there's a defender who flicks the ball on, he gets back in there on the chest, cracks it with his right foot. A superb goal, a superb strike, and the game needed it.
Well, he became a bit of a folk hero here last season, the Norwegian, and that's endeared him to the fans straight away at the start of a new season. And he's in there battling to win the ball back again. But in fact, the free kick has gone against him. He battled a bit too hard. Well, he went the first 20 matches here at Swindon without scoring Fjortoft, and then ended up in the last 4 months cracking them in all kinds of style, and got 13 altogether in his 27 matches. And he's off the mark for this season. And so is Swindon.
None of them would have been better than that, Alan. That was a superbly struck goal. Brilliant. Poor goalkeeper, no chance.
I know there was a stage last season when John Gorman seriously considered loaning Fjortoft back to a Norwegian club so he could regain his confidence. Such was his poor form. And maybe that was the psychological kick he needed. Here's Andy Much. Bowden on the overlap. Corner.
That may just make Swindon relax and play and free themselves a little more. Goal makes a ton of difference. Therefore, Port Vale have got to roll up their sleeves now and say, come on, chaps, we've got to get one back.
Bowden will take the corner for Swindon, who lead 1-0 here, and it looks good. Touched away by Van der Laan in the nick of time, as Taylor was steaming in behind him. Nijholt knocks it straight back in again. No problem for Dean Glover. Take a look at the goal from a different angle here, John. Superb reaction by Fjortoft to his own flick on.
He squeezes back into the opponent and gets it on his shoulder. It's a marvellous strike. Wonderful skill. You know, we do say, you know, he never got his head over the ball. He did everything right there. That was perfection.
And how the Norwegians would have loved a goal like that in the USA. If they'd only crossed the halfway line a little more often, they might have got one like that as well. Fenwick belting it away when danger threatened. Signed from Spurs last season, Terry Fenwick. Long career at the top level with Crystal Palace and Queen's Park Rangers as well as Tottenham. Here's Fjortoft, the goal scorer. Ling. Bowden helps it on. That's an intelligent ball. Horlock. Much will reach the cross, will he? Didn't quite get the header he wanted. Now Nijholt. Being warmed by the crowd. Someone was behind him, but it didn't matter because he gave it away anyway to Kent. And now Foyle. Van der Laan. 20 minutes of the first half remaining. Swindon Town in the lead. And Bowden wins the ball back for them. Good clearance by Digby. Fjortoft's header. Nijholt. Robinson. Ling just threads it back again to Nijholt. And Much gets the layoff wrong. Van der Laan hitting a first-time ball. And Digby, although he miskicked the clearance, at least he got there. And that was important.
Alan, at the moment, Martin Ling has been outstanding in the middle of the park for Swindon. He's knocking the ball about, he's keeping it very accurate, he looks quick, he looks as though he's spot on his game.
Good-looking cross in towards Foyle, but he's not had much joy in the penalty area so far, Martin Foyle. And there's your man Ling again, right back in his own corner, working the ball forward. Free kick has gone against Fjortoft, but backing into the centre half.
A little bit harsh, I thought.
Tankard with a bit of space to move for Port Vale on the left.
I think John Rudge will be asking for an improvement in the crossing from both flanks, because out on the left flank we haven't had a quality crossing yet, and we've only had one from the right. So that's something that would improve this game.
They've had quite a bit of possession, Port Vale, but as you say, John, their use of the ball in the final third of the field hasn't been what they would have wanted here. Glover turning it on to Porter, but that's favourite for Taylor to reach, and he didn't let anyone down. John Rudge has now left his seat on the touchline for a wider view from the stand. Glover in possession. That wasn't a bad effort, it was rising all the time, but he worked it onto his left foot cleverly.
You find most managers now will be sitting up there in the stand in the first half. They like to get there. Here's something going, there's a turn here. He's jockeying, and there goes the strike, left foot over the bar. That will make a big difference there. Normally, you'd see defenders trying to tackle there, but with the new rule, they've got to be very careful. They've got to learn a new game of how to defend.
Kent. That's a great first-time ball. Glover finding Van der Laan. What a fine tackle by Luke Niles. Now that is a perfectly executed sliding tackle that even the sternest referee couldn't take exception to. Sandeman. Tankard in loads of space on Vale's left. Began his career at Southampton, Alan Tankard, and Vale got him in the end from Wigan Athletic. The ball played forward again, and that could be a corner if it goes here from Tankard. No, it's stayed in play. Now it's out, and it's a corner in the end.
Again, it was a chance to get a cross in, but you've got to miss the first man out on crosses. You must deliver the ball past the first man to give your forwards any chance at all.
Well, big Gareth Griffiths, 6'5", has gone wider this time. He was on the near post for the earlier corner. Now, will he reach this? No, it was a good header clear by Mark Robinson. Horlock. What a fine ball that was. And volleyed first time by Bodin to Much. He's all on his own. He'll have to go for goal here, I think. And in the end, Vale just got enough players back to crowd him out. But still Swindon have it with Fjortoft. Nyholt. Robinson. Much. The linesman has flagged, however, for offside, I believe, against Fjortoft, rather than Andy Much.
Great break there by Bodin. Bodin broke, and he saw Much on his outside, played it to him, and Much just took a little bit too long dwelling on the ball, possibly. He should have knocked it back into him, and he could have had a strike with his left foot, but he just didn't pick him out early enough. But a good quick break.
Quarter of an hour of the first half remaining. Swindon Town 1, Port Vale 0 in this opening First Division fixture for these two clubs. Some good crowds and some fine matches in the opening Saturday of the Ensley League season yesterday. And let's hope the successes of the USA World Cup are translated into our domestic football. Let's hope we take some of the best things from the World Cup and make this an outstanding season. I'm sure it might be. Fjortoft did well to work it back there towards Ling. Now it comes to Horlock. That's a foul. And in a very dangerous position as well.
Fjortoft did well again there. He chested the ball round and had it on the turn again.
Fenwick took it very quickly, too quickly for his own good in the end. Ling. It's a good ball. Taylor helps it on, headed away by Sandeman. And Jeffers knocks it out for a Swindon throw.
A little surprised at Fenwick there. I don't quite know what he'd seen and what he was looking for. Just seemed a wasted free kick to me.
Fjortoft. Clever stuff from the big Norwegian. That's the corner, I think. Whitbread went in strongly, but the linesman has not upheld his appeal for a corner. He's given the goal kick.
I agree with the referee. The referee was right there. The linesman was so close, I can't believe he missed that. But at the same time, we all make mistakes. He made one there. The referee rectified. Good skill from the big man over on the far side.
Fenwick's clearance finds Fjortoft. Robinson. It's too strong, that. Tankard. Jeffers. And Glover just couldn't shake off the attentions of Adrian Whitbread. Jeffers did well then. Van der Laan. Porter. The Dutchman takes over again. Now Sandeman. Lee Glover. Unlike him, he didn't control it properly. But Swindon have played themselves back into a problem here. Kent. And Bodin just as quickly gets them out of danger. Sandeman. This is Griffiths. Porter. Unlucky there, Lee Glover very nearly fooled the defender, but Swindon have possession back, and just as quickly Ling gifts it back to Dean Glover. First time ball forward by Horlock. Fjortoft is offside.
It just looks to me as though the Swindon legs are just going a little bit. All the training in the world doesn't add up to playing this first match. There's nothing like it. I can just see their legs starting to go and get a bit tired.
Boyle's layoff. Good one to Jeffers. And the cross is dangerous, and Bodin the first to react. You may have seen that good news. Sorry, John, just to underline that great news from Helsinki. Britain's 4x400 metres relay team winning a gold medal.
Well, that was the first quality cross we've had from Port Vale. It missed all the big defenders out and has just left a Bodin at the back post who had to punch it over his own bar.
Vale's corner. Griffiths goes up, and Fraser Digby got higher than anyone to punch it away, but still Port Vale have possession. This looks dangerous on the break with Andy Much leading Swindon forward. He has Fjortoft ahead of him and Ling arriving in support on the left. Also Nyholt and Horlock. And back it goes to Horlock. Disappointing end to a promising move.
Yes, that wasn't a bad build-up really. Much kept them in possession. It's just that basically you felt Horlock was going to have another touch and then really get a bit closer and then hammer it, but it just didn't happen. No wonder he's only scored 1 in 50, is it?
Fenwick's clearance. Van der Laan. Measured ball for Jeffers, but Robinson was in there quickly. £600,000 last month from Newcastle United, Mark Robinson, the highest fee Swindon have ever paid for a player. Began his career, in fact, at West Bromwich Albion. Jeffers trying to make room to shake off Robinson and get in the cross. And has done a little better than that, I think. The referee seems to have given Vale the free kick here for a foul by Robinson. So that's the signal for big Gareth Griffiths to come forward again. Cost only £1,000. How about that in these days of inflated transfer fees? Bought from the non-league Rill. It's a dangerous ball, Boyle's header! And it must have flicked off a Swindon defender. A corner the verdict.
That's a good ball in. They're dangerous to deal with as defenders. You hate them, they're whipping in towards your goal, and Foyle just got a touch and then it got flicked on by the defender after that.
There's an ex-Oxford United man who wouldn't have been very popular there, Foyle, if he'd scored, because they don't regard them as the greatest of friends here at Swindon. Kent's corner, and it was Van der Laan who got up. He had a...
Port Vale are having possibly their best spell at the moment. They're knocking the ball about, they're pushed right up on the halfway line, and they're getting the ball out wide and crosses are going in. You know, that's what they need to be doing. Use the width of the pitch. Get these two wide men wide, get crosses in, get behind the back three.
14 years at the club now, John Rudge, 10 of them as manager, during which he's won promotion for Port Vale 4 times. With a very small budget, he has done an incredibly good job in that time. And it's good to see that they have a board of directors who supported him and not panicked in the odd seasons when things haven't gone so well. Sandeman's cross, a testing one that for Fraser Digby, but he was not to be found wanting.
We had a great view of that. He was always coming off his line to take that comfortably. Good goalkeeping.
7 minutes to go to half-time in a game that's been interesting rather than exciting. Robinson. Tankard. And it came off Ling for Port Vale's throw. Vale, who clinched promotion with a great run in April and May when they won 8 of their last 9 games. Shame they've lost players of the quality of Swan, the centre-half, and Taylor, a great fine attacking midfielder. And they've only got about 16 fit and available players at the moment in their squad. John Rudge hoping to get some money to strengthen his squad in the next few weeks. But quick to point out that the £1 million the tribunal valued Taylor at won't all go towards team rebuilding. He said the bank could take 3/4 of that to help pay off the overdraft. Here's Kent. In it goes towards Glover. Headed clear, though, by Taylor, only as far as Sandeman. Taylor's there again. Now Kent. Well, 3 men were always going to be difficult. Lovely layoff by Andy Mudge. Oh dear, Niall stumbled and applauds the good ball.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball by Mudge. His second movement was good. He was sprinting off back down the middle, waiting for the cross that never came.
Kent's beaten to it by the strong figure of Sean Taylor. Fred did well to nick it away from Foyle then. Now Robinson. Was that handball by Puretop? The Vale defenders claimed it was. Play on was the verdict as Robinson knocks it in long for Much. Dean Glover's clearance, and it's even Vale's throw because it came off Andy Much.
Interesting point watching here is the depth now, both sides. There's plenty of room in the midfield now. If football's going to be played this way, it leaves plenty of space for the midfield to receive the ball and to play through the midfield.
We ought to underline, I'm sure it is in most parts of the country, it's a very, very hot day here. It must be 70-odd degrees. So I don't think we're going to see a match full of strong running in this heat. But Puretop manages a good strong run to get it onto his right foot again. And the little back heel flick was inappropriate at that moment. Good header, clear on Whitbread.
Been talked to John Rudge before the match. He's worried about young Griffiths, whether he was quite up to this. Well, he'll be getting a good testing out there, and I'm sure John's going to learn a lot by the end of this match, whether he's good enough.
Van der Laan doing well. This is Foyle holding off Whitbread, and a good layoff too. Tankard. Foyle. Van der Laan, Horlock just gets a foot in. Fjortop chests it down to Nijholt, but much was offside. Well, it's a rare experience for John Gorman to find his side in the lead. They had a torrid time, of course, in the Premiership. Only 5 wins, 15 draws, 22 defeats, never off the bottom of the table. They lost their first 4 games and went 16 before they managed their first win at the top level. Whitbread's clearance was a good one, an accurate one to Much. And Andy Much, for me, has been the outstanding player of the half.
He's played exceptionally well with his back to goal. He's kept them in possession, he's leant back into his defender, he's found it very difficult to control him, and he's turned the ball. It looks as though he's enjoying his game.
30 now, Andy Much, and I'm sure still a lot of good seasons left in him. 2 minutes of the first half remaining as Swindon try to build on their 1-goal lead, given to them in the 22nd minute by their Norwegian Fjortop. Lovely skill in possession here by Jeffers. Here he is again. Good defending that by Swindon. And a fine tackle to win the ball back by Nijholt. And Tankard runs it out of the pitch for a Swindon throw. He is a good sharp tackler, isn't he, this lad?
Yeah, he's quick, he gets in quickly, he pounces on the ball, and then when he gets the ball, his distribution is excellent.
Ling has given it away. Jeffers has got nowhere to go here and did well to force a goal kick. Swindon, of course, won the playoff final against Leicester in 1993 to take their place at the top level. They were in the old third division. The old third division, that is, only 7 years ago. And I noticed the bookmakers have them as 25-1 to get promoted back again into the Premiership, which I would have thought was a pretty good each-way bet. Here's Tankard for Port Vale, looking for Lee Glover up front. He fell at the worst moment and there was no hint of a foul. And that's it, the referee has decided to blow the half-time whistle, hardly any time added, and Swindon go into a generous round of applause from their supporters. They lead 1-0, and that'll make John Gorman a happy man.
John, your World Cup player scoring a goal worthy of the World Cup.
Great goal, super goal. Just what we needed, really. We need a goal, and it's a good game. Port Vale's playing like I expected them to, playing some good football. But we're looking lively, and Luke Nijholt snapping in midfield and winning great tackles for us. And it's, I'm pleased so far.
John Rudge is urging his fullbacks to move forward.
Yeah, because the way we play is obviously we play with a sweeper, and if there's any going to have space, it'll be the fullbacks. But we know that, but we're counteracting in other ways the way we go forward, and we're getting the space to move into great positions in midfield, and possibly we should have capitalised even a bit more.
What are you going to tell your players at half-time?
Well, I'm going to make sure that we do get tighter in certain areas and stop the runners. They're very good at running from deep, but I feel that we're doing things well. We're sharp. and we're getting crunching in the tackle, which I'm pleased about, because we're winning clean tackles, no fouls, and that's good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Tony.
How nice to see Jan Fjørtoft in form. We didn't see much of him in the USA, did we? We didn't see much of Norway, come to that. And we'll be back with the views of Jimmy Greaves in a couple of moments. Hi, welcome back. Well, Jan Fjørtoft has been pining for the fields, really, ever since he left Norway, but he seems to have cracked it. He's stopped pining.
Played well, hasn't he? He's had more touches in this match than he had in the whole of America.
And probably the whole of last season.
With that Norway side.
Yeah.
They didn't hang about too long, did they? But he's played very well today. He's made it work up front.
Lovely goal.
Scored a brilliant goal. Brilliant goal. And really got things moving. I think Swindon are the side that have shown a little bit more class, to be perfectly honest. The touches of the players, and that really sums up the whole of the first half, really, from Swindon's point of view. As I say, it's been very good touches, and this was a real first-class effort, wasn't it? Great.
Touch of Klinsmann about that, didn't you think?
Well, it was a bit Klinsmann. He'd be happy to score one next Saturday, wouldn't he, Klinsmann,
yeah.
one of those. So, yeah, but Swindon, to be honest, have looked a little bit of a classier act than Port Vale, who've grafted away. Might have scored earlier on, actually, when...
Well, before we look at that, let's just remind ourselves that... Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
of course I'm right. When have I ever been wrong? Hey, this is Fjørtoft on the ball here, and it's a good ball, you can see, look. Played right the way through for Andy Much. Well played by the linesman, and really Andy doesn't do very well at all here. Allows Mithwaite to come out and comfortably save it. And really, they could have easily been 2 up. But
I thought you were going to lead into Port Vale nearly scoring, but we can do that now. That's why I was...
Don't anticipate, Steve, don't it? No, I mean, well, Lee Glover, we're looking at Lee Glover because things are going to be a bit different for Lee. Anyone who comes from Nottingham Forest has probably had some very good service in their career in terms of balls supplied, and that was a good effort by him, and he may well have had a goal later on as well in that half. And I think Lee's problem is, as I say, is that he's going to have to graft a little bit harder. These balls to feet, these wonderful through balls that Forest used to supply are not going to come that readily.
One touches. Are we ready for Garfield, Gary Newman?
Yeah,
shall we go over and meet him at the county ground with
Gary,
a familiar face? But he's always had a familiar face, really.
Yeah, this guy makes me look good looking, actually. Brian Kilcline, of course, who was captain of Coventry, the Coventry team that won the FA Cup in '87, went on with Newcastle. Can't get into this team, though.
No, they're trying a new system. There's a lot of new rules coming out. It's just, I'm one of these players that just takes a while to get to understand the rules.
You'd be a danger to shipping with the rule changes, actually.
Danger to what?
Shipping, the way
Yeah,
you play.
I'm glad you said that. No, well, at the moment it's the manager. He's picked a team. He's gone out with a formation of 3 across the back with the full-backs pushing on. And,
Mind you, he doesn't need big defenders if he's going to get his World Cup player to score goals like that.
Exactly. You know, it's a bit of skill that, you know, everybody likes to see on a Saturday and a Sunday afternoon as well. Ball's got played into him. He's caught it on his chest, and I think I'm telling this right. He volleyed it into the back of the net before it landed.
Yeah, it's not bad. Interviewing still needs a lot to be desired here, Brian. So we go back to Tony.
Your interview.
No, the answers. Yeah, thanks.
Well,
I think he's better looking than Gary Newman, though.
Well, he looks like Alexi Lalas, doesn't he, there?
Doesn't he
from
just?
America, yeah. Gary Newman looked like Mickey Mouse, doesn't he? But there you go.
Well, we're getting in the mood for the second half, so be with us in a few moments. Right, well, the teams are coming out for the second half.
They are.
Jim, do you think Port Vale can haul this one back?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's 1-0 to Swindon. There's a whole 45 minutes. We've seen it happen, son, and we'll see it happen again.
My money's on Swindon. Class act, as you said.
Well, you've got a 1-goal start, so not too much of this.
Welcome back to the county ground as the teams take the field for this second half. No substitutions made by either manager during the half-time interval. And can I say, on behalf of John Sillett and I, thanks to a very kind gentleman called Andy who supplied us both with a bovril during the break.
Excellent value that was.
John Rudge is talking to Gary Newman just before we get off.
John, I know it's only 1-0, but looking at that first half, you've got quite a bit to do if you're going to get back into this game.
Oh, yeah, but we didn't defend the throw well enough. I mean, when it comes to that, where they just threw the ball in the box, we didn't defend that well enough. We've got to try and contend with their three midfield and the sweep at the back. Our two full-backs are our keepers. If they can get forward and start causing trouble, every ball we put in the box, it seems to go straight under their sweeper's head. So we've got to do better with that quality into the box.
Bowden's throw, looking for Andy Much, headed on by Porter for Port Vale. And comes back again to the Swindon man. Too much strength on that ball, despite the chase by the goal scorer Fjortoft.
I was a little surprised John Rudge, maybe I had a feeling he might go with three at the back and push two full-backs in wide so he can use that space that's being left on the flanks. I was hoping he was going to try that possibly at some stage during the match.
Well, certainly the sweeper system has done wonders for Swindon's confidence in their pre-season matches, and so far today, remember they conceded 100 goals last season. They got some terrible hammerings. They conceded 5 goals on 4 occasions. They also let in 6, I remember, at Everton, and then a 7-1 thrashing up at Newcastle. So obviously they needed to sort that out as a main priority during the close season. They won't come up against that type of quality of striker, of course, in this division. However, if they continue to leak goals at that alarming rate, they would have been in trouble in this division as well.
You're in trouble any division, Alan, letting in goals like that, aren't you, really? Didn't he look the part? Big kill Klein. I don't know what he's trying to prove.
Fjortoft showing good movement for the throw-in and then slipped at the key moment, but still worked hard to get it back. Tankard's clearance. Nyholt stabs it back in again, and Much couldn't control it. And despite the fact that both John and I thought Andy Much had a good game, it was interesting to hear the spectators around us here in the new stand complaining about him in the first half. He's obviously not one of those players that's been taken to the hearts of Swindon fans immediately. This guy is, though. Nyholt. Ling, always available. But a poor ball this time. Foyle. Nice first-time layoff. Kent had some trouble controlling it, but now gets it out to Bradley Sandeman. Kent again, lets it run on to Van der Laan. And the quick interception by Fennick. As Swindon going forward again with Andy Much.
Much has done well, me, with his back to go. He's played simple balls off, he's kept his midfield supporting, and when they support, he's given them the ball. He hasn't disappointed them. I think that's good play.
Ball given away to Bowden. Now Much finds space again. Good layoff, finds Robinson. Fjortoft with the back heeler. Robinson onto it. Great save. That looked a goal all the way. What a clever back heeler it was by the Norwegian. And as the fullback Robinson moved onto the ball, he hit it sweetly. But a great save.
The linesman had his flag up for offside here. For the life of me, I can't see where he saw offside here. His flag is up, and if that had gone in the net, the linesman this side would have disallowed it. No way was he interfering with play. No way was there any offside.
And I thought that was one of the things that linesmen have been told to do this season. If a player was in that kind of position, to let it go. Foyle with the shot, meanwhile. It's going to be hard for linesmen and referees this season, and I think we all hope that the stringent recommendations, well, they're not that really, they're instructions rather than recommendations that have come down from the authorities, aren't treated too literally. I think common sense still has to play a very large part in officiating of matches for the sake of everyone.
Yes, it's got to prevail. They've got to be with it. They've got to be spot on this season because they're under the microscope as always, but they've got to really get to grips with this new rule.
So far, this referee has acted sensibly.
Well, that's messed that up. The referee will do something wrong there. You've said that, AP.
I did stress so far, yes. Andy Much running forward. Gareth Griffiths comes across to cover. Much has shaken him off, but couldn't get the cross in effectively. Sandeman strong on the ball. Finds Foyle. Fullback needs a bit of help here and gets it. Foyle's there again, threading it together in midfield with Kent. Van der Laan making a good run forward here. And Jeffers on the left as ever. Glover. Foyle, good interception by Fenwick. And Bodin works it forward to Fjortov. Not Fjortov, sorry. Orlov. Now Van der Laan wins it back. Porter. Turn by Kent and a fine ball forward. Foyle's onside. Can he finish? He really ought to have done.
Well, that is a super chance. To be fair to Foyle, he's been doing well. He's played the ball about, but this ball from Kent catches him onside. Perfect timing of the run. Swindon are caught flat-footed. He's had a good first touch. He's just got to get it by the keeper and hit the target, and he's pulled it wide. That is a great chance. John Rudge wouldn't be happy with that, nor with the supporters, nor with his teammates. At the same time, he got there, he was on the end of it, just pulled it wide.
Foyle's there again, finding Glover, Lee Glover that is. Lovely skill from the former Nottingham Forest man. Sandeman in support of the attack, finds Van der Laan. It's not a bad effort, but always wide.
Well, that's Sandeman. He's come forward twice now. That's more than he did in the first half. And John Rudge have obviously got it through to him that they want him to break from the full-back position and fill that space wide on the right. He's improved their performance already by doing this.
Here's Alan Tankard. Sandeman there again. Porter making a run for him in midfield, and that's a sloppy ball by the fullback. And then an equally sloppy ball by Andy Much. And neither team has really settled yet. At the start of this second half, Swindon leading 1-0. Ling in possession for them, and now Nyholt. Robinson. Flicked off Glover there, and Fjortoft almost profited. But once again, Paul Musselwhite in the Vale goal was very aware of the danger. And Nyholt, for the umpteenth time it seems, wins another good tackle.
Well, that is his strength. He reads the situation, quickly pounces on the ball, quick feet.
The cross goes into Foyle, headed clear by Fenwick to Ling. One off him by Van der Laan. That was good play. And then it goes again, aimed at Foyle. Good clearance, though. And Swindon looking sound at the back still. Great ball then by Dean Glover. Bodin just got there ahead of Kent to concede the throw-in, which has gone to Van der Laan. And again in towards Foyle. And as Whitbread went up with him, he just did enough to knock him off his balance.
You get a feeling that Swindon are just happy to defend this 1-0 at the moment. That's very dangerous. You know, they should be looking to go forward and breaking from the back, but they've stopped doing that. There's 5 men virtually in a line across the back of Swindon's defence now.
They're playing some good football, Port Vale, without, as we said in the first half, looking dangerous enough when they get to the opposition penalty box.
They've not had enough penetration, Alan. You know, that was the one chance where they really got through, which was a great chance for Foyle. But they've not really shown a lot of penetration because the quality of cross hasn't been good enough.
It's not really been a game of many scoring chances, it has to be said. Failed attempts showing 11. One scored, remember, and Swindon have it. And they have possession here with Horlock. Forward so much, but almost inevitably the flag goes up, offside. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Swindon Town, relegated from the Premiership last season, lead Port Vale, promoted from Division 2 by a 1-0. Jeffers for Port Vale. Glover almost threaded it back then to Jeffers.
He did a Meggs there, and it nearly got through. You know, it's unlucky. Good thinking, sharp thinking. Fall again done well, coming off there and playing in the build-up. Good link man. Always find him. Always available.
Well, Swindon not quite producing the free-flowing football they showed at times in the first half, and certainly in terms of possession, Port Vale are very much in this game. That's a great ball, Jeffers. Tankard. Horlock made the challenge, and then Whitbread prevented it going behind for a corner.
He wasn't too sure, so he played the safety game, get the ball out, was set up for a throw-in, and hopefully defend it well.
Did well there, Jeffers. It looked as though he was running into trouble at first, and eventually that's exactly what he did do. Digby's kick, not the best. It's gone straight to Van der Laan. Now Tankard, that's a good-looking cross as well. Horlock gets bowed in, moving strongly down that left for Swindon. Fjortop. Easily won back by Sandyman. A good little ball finds Porter. Glover held his man off beautifully then and wins the throw-in. Always been a superbly gifted player, Lee Glover. Never got enough goals for a player who plays in that position. And Nyholt mistimes the tackle this time.
He's there again. I think a few players in the first division are going to remember him. He'll be leaving calling cards all over the place.
Here's Tankard. Boyle fell and still kept it. Jeffers.
Jeffers looks a player as though he should be doing a little more. He's got a lot of skill. He's got the ability to go 1 against 1. When you expect him to go 1 against 1, he doesn't seem to do it. When he got 3 men round him, he seems to have a go at dribbling through. You know, he's just got to sort himself out and say, 1 against 1, I'll take you on. When I've got 3 round, I'll cross the ball in and put 3 men out of the game. Just get his balance right.
Jeffers sees possession again and finds Van der Laan. And again he brushes off the challenge, this time from Nyholt. No problem for Digby. Cross much too close to the keeper. Had some injury problems last season, Fraser Digby, but he recovered, missed around a dozen games and has been first choice most of his 8 seasons here. Clumsy ball by Fenwick. Foyle in possession for Port Vale. What can they make of this gift? Van der Laan. And again, the Swindon defence continue to cope quite comfortably with anything that Port Vale throw at them.
John will be shouting out instructions there. There's too much room. They're giving Port Vale much too much room, and he wants them pushed in tighter, obviously, and stop these crosses coming. Although, to be fair to Swindon, they've got the aerial power to clear these crosses.
Jeffers turns into trouble, and Ling delivers the first-time ball. Musselwhite has not missed a trick. I feel the game needs an injection of pace somewhere along the line. Easy for me to say up here, not so easy to achieve down there in this very hot afternoon. This will be a Port Vale corner.
I went yesterday to a match in Wolverhampton. I watched Wolverhampton Reading match, and it was a very similar type of match. Players struggled to get any pace into their game.
And the alarm beaten to it by Robinson. It comes back to Jeffers. That could have gone anywhere in that crowd of players. It has gone for a goal kick. Well, it was one of those situations, John, where just one deflection.
Yeah, here I was looking here to see if the Port Vale forwards were following up. And when you see the ball go in, which it does now, goes in there, and touch, everybody's on their heels. They should be looking to get in there.
It almost doesn't seem like English football unless the wind's howling and the rain's lashing down and it's cold. Here's Tankard. Boyle beaten to it, but it comes out to Porter. And Glover beaten by the challenge. However, Tankard's onto it again for Vale and was tripped as he went for the return ball. And that's going to be the first yellow card of the game for Swindon's record signing Mark Robinson for the deliberate trip.
Yes, it was one of those moves where he was just caught. I think he just caught his heels there, Robinson, and into the referee's book he goes.
It's a good position this for Vale. We've got a lovely view from our lofty perch here of the problems for Fraser Digby. Maybe going to set this one up for Van der Laan to have a crack. Porlock read the intentions well and blocked it with ease. Glover turns it back in. That should be Digby's and is.
The haul-up was very quick there. Broke early, went down, blocked the shot.
Wayne O'Sullivan, young 20-year-old midfield player, looks as though he's about to come on for Swindon. And I gather from the bench it might be Martin Ling who he replaces. As Fjortoft wins it back, and now Nijholt has possession for Swindon. Fenwick, who's hardly crossed the halfway line today, does so on this occasion, and looks for Fjortoft in the box. Good tackle. And the referee comes on the scene to try and sort that out, and Port Vale did very well in the end.
It's amazing. I've been watching Martin Ling. He was my player for a half an hour. He was doing a lot, making the ball talk, passing it accurately. Whether he's got an injury or not, but he hasn't touched it for 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
He did have an injury. He did, yeah. He was doubtful, in fact, yesterday. He's an important player, so John Gorman took the risk and put him in, but he's obviously run out of steam. And young Wayne O'Sullivan, who's just 20, as I say, his only first-team experience was in the Anglo-Italian Cup a couple of years ago. He comes on for his league debut. First substitution of the game, with around about 65 minutes gone. Swindon still leading 1-0. Great ball in there to Foyle. Now Van der Laan's got a shooting chance here, and as he struck it, he hit it straight against Sean Taylor.
That was a super build-up. You know, they played really well there, Port Vale. They played it square and then up to the front and got an early cross in and started to look dangerous again. That's what they need to be doing, playing it forward early.
Sandeman. Foyle, intelligent layoff. but it hasn't stayed in play. O'Sullivan hasn't managed to have a touch yet, the Swindon substitute. See Sean Taylor. Struck it straight against Glover there. That's a difficult bouncing ball for Bodin, who dealt with it very well. Sandeman under pressure from Andy Much. And Swindon having trouble getting out of their own half at the moment, John.
Yeah, they're sitting back a little bit too much for me. They've got 5 men across the back and they're just sitting there and defending this 1-0. They're bringing Port Vale onto them and giving them a lot of space in midfield.
Whitbread's clearing header. Porter. Set up for Sandeman to try the cross, and it's a useful one, but Digby, always favourite.
Swindon, when they're playing well, are building off the front two, and they've stopped doing that. They've stopped playing into feet off the front two. They've got to be looking to build off the front two again, so that midfield then will be getting the ball back.
It's a poor ball by Robinson, who's got a hard job here because Nicky Summerby was a big favourite with the Swindon fans. He's filling in that role now that Summerby has moved on, and he's not going to find it easy to fill his shoes. As Kent goes forward now for Port Vale. Sandeman trying a bit of overlapping of his own, and Bodin just got a touch on that, but the ball had already crossed the line, goal kick. Let's take a look at more football coming up on Central in the next week. At 1:40 on Tuesday morning, the start of a new series, the Ensley League Football Extra. Action from every Football League game. Then next Saturday at 5 o'clock, Goals Extra, offering instant goals and action from the Ensley League. Whitbread's clearance could cause a problem here for the goalkeeper, and he's lost it, and Fjortov turned it into the empty net. The whistle has gone, has it? It went rather late, too late for Fjortov to realise. I thought it was a foul on the keeper in the first place, but nobody seemed to hear the whistle, and I'm not sure the referee blew straight away.
I think Musselwhite's saying that he lost the ball in the sun. Here's the ball, it's a high bouncing ball. You know, he's got to jump early and get up there. He's got his hands to get above everybody, and he didn't quite do it. But at the same time, I think the referee's decision was right. He did just go straight into him, Mitch, instead of playing the ball.
Foil now for Port Vale. Can they get back level here? Lee Glover takes over and gets it into the box. Good challenge, though, by Bodin. And that's a corner. Digby let it cross the line, thinking it was going to be a goal kick, but a corner it is. And you have to say, Vale looking increasingly likely to get back on level terms here.
And they're playing good football at the moment. The other side trying to create.
Van der Laan's header straight at Digby. Away from home last season, Vale won 10 matches, drew 4, lost 9. They began their season with only 1 win in their first 7 games. It was late on when Vale really came into their own, having lost in the playoff final the season before against West Bromwich Albion. Fjortov. Much just got caught there as he laid the ball off, and it's a yellow card. I think it was for Andy Porter. The referee flashed it very quickly, the card.
It was Andy Porter, definitely.
Yeah. And one of the new rulings, of course, is that if Andy Much needs treatment and he has to go off the field to receive it, and Kevin Morris, the physio, was waved away very quickly by referee Pearce when he tried to come on. So Much continues. Swindon's free kick. They lead 1-0. 20 minutes to go. Bodie will take it. Over Van der Laan's head. However, they had plenty of defenders covering. Here's Lee Glover. Tankard. Jeffers. Taylor's clearance, and Wayne O'Sullivan still hasn't managed to get his first touch in league football, as far as I can remember.
You're right there, he hasn't touched it yet. He's done a lot of running though, the kid, to be fair to him.
Sandy. That's good play by Kevin Kent. And the cross is a good-looking one towards Foyle, but again, Digby was very safe. Well, the Swindon player who was replaced by Wayne O'Sullivan, Martin Ling, is down on the touchline now with Gary Newbot.
Martin, why did you have to come off?
Well, I've only trained one day this week. Was yesterday morning, so the late fitness test. I didn't think I'd be fit at all, so I run out of breath a little bit there.
What was the problem with it?
I've had a thigh strain, picked up Tuesday in training, and it's pulled up on me in the game. Young Wayne's a fresh pair of legs, and it was intentions before the game whether I could get through the old game, so I'm quite happy to do the hour.
And now his replacement, O'Sullivan, has at last got his first touch. Robinson. Nyholt. Slides it into much, a poor ball by him. Lucky deflection though, takes it back to Fjortov. And O'Sullivan in strongly, but he still gives it away. At least Swindon are mounting a bit of pressure now after so long on the defensive.
That's disappointing from a manager's point of view. You get the ball back to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper wastes it. You know, he's only got to look round and pick somebody out. So easy, and yet they panic a little bit.
Robinson lifted forward to Fjortov. Tried to play it back to O'Sullivan. It wasn't a good ball. However, Swindon have the throw. Jeffers hooks it clear, and the Laan's missed his header. Nyholt. Fennick. Robinson. That's a good-looking ball into Andy Much, and he almost lifted it over the goalkeeper. And well won back by Horlock. Still Horlock. And that's a corner.
There's a bit of life came into that then. There was a chance there, there's this ball going in, and Much unlucky. He's tried just to flick it to the far corner. He got it on target. Keeper made a good save. But Swindon have pushed in now and started to say to Port Vale, you've got to get yourself out of your own half, man. We're not going to help you anymore. We're not going to give the ball away.
Taylor's header, but it looped into Musselwhite's hands quite gently in the end. Gets a lot of goals though, Sean Taylor. 4 in the Premiership last season, 13 in the promotion season. So a better spell for Swindon. And Vale come back again. Van der Laan with a lovely ball. Foyle. Lee Glover in the box. And it goes in towards Jeffers near the penalty spot. Robinson's clearance. O'Sullivan in strongly. He did well then. And again. Excellent play by the youngster. He's hurt himself going for that second header. He fell very heavily. The Swindon physio was on the field then before the referee had even stopped play. And he's signalling that if O'Sullivan needs treatment, he's got to go off for it again. Well, Jimmy Greaves back in our studio in Birmingham. What do you make of it?
Well, Al, I must admit that I think if I'd had the choice, I might have been sitting in the garden in the sunshine. But over the last couple of minutes, it's improved a bit, and I think the action's about to take place, mate.
referee is going to restart the game with a drop ball, with O'Sullivan fit to continue, and he's going to ask Swindon to return it to Port Vale. So we've moved into the last quarter of an hour of a game that hasn't hit too many high spots, with Swindon still leading 1-0. Glover in possession though for Port Vale.
Actually, Port Vale's play have been very, very nice to watch up to the box. They play some very good stuff. It's just in the box.
Whitbread gets it away, and it's just gone this side of the corner flag, so it'll be a throw.
You can always tell the tired side when they won't look for throw-ins.
Jeffers. It's a decent looking cross by Jeffers. Porter got the header in. And John Rudge wondering if Vale's opening match in the new division is going to end with a point or in defeat, no points at all. Well, being an optimist, he may still regard them as possible 3 points.
Yes, he'll be still looking to get something out of this match. He'll be pushing his players forward.
Looks like another substitution here for Swindon. Andy Much has gone off to be replaced by Steve Scott, a player I know pretty well. He came from my club, Wycombe Wanderers, for £375,000 last season, and scored the goal which got Swindon their first ever Premiership win against Queen's Park Rangers. So he's gone up front with Fjortoft. Nyholt. And again, poor ball, easily cleared by Griffiths. Whitbread under pressure, but nonetheless finds Horlock. Goes forward to Scott, and he's offside. Taylor's clearance. Turned on by Fennick. Fjortoft. Trot on the ball and had it taken off him by Van der Laar. Kent. That's a foul.
Lee Glover was unlucky there. He'd just done him there and was just going to run onto it.
Here's Tankard. One back by O'Sullivan. Scott tried to close Glover down, but Glover still has the ball and plays it dangerously into the penalty area to Lee Glover, and that really was a dangerous moment for Swindon. Bowden in possession. That's a great ball. Nyholt. That's really opened things up. On it goes for Scott to chase. They've got more men forward than in any move for about half an hour here, Swindon. There are 5 in and around the box. Robinson. Fennick. Still a lot of Swindon men forward. Fennick plays it into Scott. And the layoff just kept possession there, O'Sullivan. Robinson. And in the end, Swindon just had enough numbers to get the ball back again as O'Sullivan plays it into Scott. Superb finish by Keith Scott, and the substitution worked a dream.
Scotty giving you a wave there, Alan.
Yeah, that's a piece of finishing I can remember well from his Wycombe days. He scored 15 in 23 games in the 3rd division for Wycombe last season before Swindon came and bought him. It's a typical Scotty goal, courtesy of the post. He was so sharp moving onto it in the box, and Swindon now got some breathing space.
It's a good weighted ball in, that was. Lovely weighted ball, but it's great finishing, as you say. He didn't have a second touch. Straight in, straight onto it, and hitting the post, in she goes. Lovely touch for the kid. Good substitution.
Well, I know there were a lot of games last season in the Premiership where Scott and Fjortoft were used together as a partnership, and I know the Swindon fans like that partnership. And I know also here that Fjortoft is offside.
I think that's Sean Taylor got it. Kevin's getting telling off the physio. Referee sending him off, but Sean Taylor went into a very, very hard tackle there.
Yeah, he spent a lifetime going into hard tackles and usually coming out breathing in like that. That's a sign that he hurt himself, but he's a bit too macho to show it. John Jeffers is coming off here to be replaced by Ray Walker, who hasn't played a competitive first-team game for 12 months now. He's been out with a cruciate knee ligament injury. Great favourite, of course, of Port Vale. 8 years at the club, almost 350 appearances. And, of course, when he's fully fit, match fit, I would think he would be a regular again in the side.
He is a class player. I used to love watching him play. Good passer of the ball, good movement.
Well, we can have another look at the goal here.
Lovely weighted ball here, and here comes Scotty. He comes in, wraps his foot round it, gets in front of the defender. Goalkeeper spreads himself to no avail, in off the post.
So the two substitutes playing a very healthy part in the goal that is surely now given Swindon all the points. Although we've still got enough time for Port Vale to make some kind of impact here, but I can't see them pulling back 2 goals. Tankard's cross. Whacked clear again to Keith Scott. He's big and strong, he can hold defenders off well. And did so.
That's the strength of Swindon, is playing to the 2 big front men, them holding the ball up and waiting for midfield to come around and support them, and then playing the ball back to them. They always look a good side when they play that way.
And Scott has forced another throw-in. He's made an immediate impact. He's got quite a lot of pace as well for a big man. And I'm sure he'll be an excellent player in this division this season. Wants the ball here and gets it on his head, wins it. Fjortoft. And that's gone for a corner.
That looks as though a bit of the stuffing's gone out of Port Vale. They'll need to get hold of themselves and say, come on, let's get with it, let's try and play, get it tight, let's get hold of the ball and keep passing it around.
Scott just missed the header, but there's still a chance here, and in the end Van der Laan got it away as Sean Taylor came in behind him.
Quality service. That was a good ball, Ben. I think Sean Taylor was favourite and he was going to do something there. Well, he's likely to break the net.
6 minutes to go. Swindon lead by 2 goals to 0. Well, I know that John Rudge was expecting, with his limited squad, only 16 fit players, remember, available, that things were going to be hard in this higher division, and he won't have seen anything today to change his mind about that. He will want to try and get some money out of the board to spend on new players to make sure that the newfound status lasts for longer than 1 season. They have tended to go up and down a little bit in recent years, Vale. And it looks as though they're off to a losing start. Digby will come and claim that. Didn't quite reach it. It comes out to Foyle, and Digby onto the second shot. Scott in possession. Just running out of play. And that's a Swindon throw. Came off Sandyman. Just under 5 minutes remaining. Fjordhoff. Horlock. Needs a bit of help now, Horlock. That's an excellent ball. Griffiths on the end of the cross, though. Over the head of Foyle. Here's Scott, given plenty of space. And he's got round the last defender and he's brought down. He would have been away there. We're trying to claim it was a dive, but it looked an obvious trip to me by Gareth Griffiths. And an opportunity quickly for us to bring in Jimmy Greaves for his nomination of man of the match. Jim.
Well, I think it has to be Jan Fjordhoft, Alan. He's shown some great touches, super goal, and at least he's won something this summer.
So, man of the match, Swindon's first goal scorer, Jan Fjordhoft. They've since added a second goal through Keith Scott, who has just been brought down. Booking for Griffiths and a free kick for Swindon. Scott coming in on the far post again. Dean Glover got it away from him.
Good defensive header that, because he was right in trouble, because Scotty was coming behind him and he looked as though he was parrying onto a perfect ball, but Dean Glover got it well in front of him and flicked it for a corner.
Of Jimmy Greaves here from the Swindon fans. Wayne O'Sullivan with Swindon's corner. Taylor getting up well. Didn't realise he had it then. And then Porter dispossessed him. Good ball back to O'Sullivan. And he goes towards Fjordhoft once more. Good late pressure here from Swindon Town. Whoops. They lost possession, and they should really have easily kept it, and a good ball forward to Lee Glover over the head of Robinson. And Glover with a chance here for Vale. It was a very good tackle by Whitbread, which just took the sting out of the shot.
Yes, he got back exceptionally well there, Whitbread. He's had a very steady game. He is the type of player, you know, that goes unnoticed at times, but he's defended exceptionally well, and he got his tackle in perfectly there. Glover just took possibly a little bit too long getting his shot in, but he was back there, stuck his foot in, good defending.
I think we're having a few problems with the quality of the pictures being transmitted to you from the county ground. Sorry about that. We hope we can restore them to perfection in a moment. I think you're okay again now. 2 minutes remaining here. Our opening live game of what I'm sure is going to be a very exciting new season on Central Television, and Swindon Town are on their way to victory against Port Vale. They lead 2-0. Porter. Digby comes out of the box to collect and then just steps back in so he can pick the ball up.
Port Vale have played exceptionally well. They're playing some very good football up to the box, but it's all gone wrong once they get round the box. They had the one great chance of Foyle, but other than that, they haven't really created a good opening.
Fjordhoft offside. He's having a bit of a go at the linesman, but he looked offside to me. Do you think we can draw any great conclusions from this game, John, in terms of the rest of the season?
No, really and truly, you'll be looking. Port Vale have got a lot of injuries, as John Rudge told us, so therefore he's got better players to pick, possibly, although they've worked very, very hard and they've played a very nice pattern of play. It's just the crosses need to improve and the fitness needs to improve.
Well, the linesman has made a mistake that time, and I can totally understand Fjordhoft's frustration. He was clearly onside.
Possibly in this early stage, to have a goal like we saw, the first goal from Fjordhoft, brilliant. You know, to get a goal like that any time of the season, you'd be happy. To get it in the first match, wonderful.
Kent. Lays it on for Glover. Challenged by Bowden, and Port Vale have a late corner. Headed clear. Sandeman in trouble all the time as Fjortoft closed him down. Good turn by Glover. The shot goes well wide, however it took a flick off the Swindon player, and the referee has indicated corner here, so they've got another late corner. Higby just kicked it away, but only as far as Foyle. And that's gone out for a throw-in. How embarrassing.
You know, they possibly had two chances there in the last minute, Port Vale. That, you know, that was a chance. You've got to look at it that way and saying, right, the keeper had come, he'd got just a slight deflection to the ball, but it had fallen to Foyle, who missed the target.
And that's it. It's all over. Swindon Town begin their first match of the new season with a victory. Goals by Fjortoft and Keith Stott, one in each half, gives them a final scoreline of Swindon Town 2, Port Vale 0. Jimmy Greaves will be back with his verdict on this game right after the break.
Yes, Rapid Vienna. I must confess we didn't get that right. But talking about Jan Eiger Fjortoft, Jimmy Greaves, as you know, awarded him the man of the match. And here's Gary Newborn to actually present it to him.
Jan, you scored a superb goal. Actually, Norway could have done with some of them in the World Cup.
Oh, there were a lot of things we missed in the World Cup, but I think for me it's special. Good to start the season so well. Always for a striker, get a self-confidence. Remember back last year when it was an early Christmas this year. I waited all to Christmas last year to get it, so Merry Christmas.
Did the World Cup enable you to be really sharp at the start of this new English season?
I think when you compete with the best players in the world, you kind of get a boost. It's not like you don't like to get motivated playing at Port Vale compared with Italy. It's just fun to keep on playing. Of course, I would like to play in the Premier League like all players in the country, but all right, I played for Swindon, and today I think Port Vale did a good game, and they played well, but we scored the goals.
Well, Jimmy Greaves has made you our first man of the match this season, the Ensley man of the match.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks a lot.
Oh, well done. Nice.
Good player.
I played well today. No
Good
question
goal.
about that. Good goal.
But let's have a look at the decisive one in the second half, shall we?
Well, the
Still by
decisive
the
one, yeah,
substitute.
it was a very good goal by Keith Scott, actually. Lovely little touch. And that sealed the game, really. Port Vale, as Jan would say, but the ball's played in here. It's a lovely touch. It is what Snoz says. It was a striker's goal and very well taken. But as Jan said, Port Vale had a very good chance when Foyle shot wide, and it might have been 1-1. That goal really just clinched it. And they did up it, actually. The
goal is the Premiership. The push to take Swindon straight back into the elite division is being spearheaded by the Norwegian World Cup striker Jan Fjortoft. So far, so good for Swindon. 100% home record, yet to concede a goal at the county ground. Derby's campaign finally lifted off against Grimsby last week. Not many of the baseball ground faithful on hand to witness the first league win of the season. And then another confidence booster in midweek. A comprehensive Italian job with Paul Kitson scoring 4. But let's be honest, Roy McFarland would sooner put goals past Swindon today than get a piece of that Anglo-Italian trophy.
When teams are in trouble near the bottom of the table, there's always going to be speculation about the manager's future, particularly when the expectations of a big club are high. But I don't think Roy McFarlane need worry at the moment, because certainly his chairman, Brian Fern, is giving him every support. Actually, sometimes, Brian, that's the kiss of death as far as football managers are concerned.
It is, but as far as I'm concerned, how can we start thinking about changing our manager 2 or 3 weeks into a season? He's had an awful lot of players injured. Even today, we won't have the whole team back. And I think we almost got promoted last year, failed at the last moment. Obviously disappointed, so we've got a backlash of the failure to make it, and an awful lot of people perhaps in the background would like us to fail.
You can't blame the media in one sense, though, when Lionel Pickering, the owner of the club, said last October when Roy was appointed that he had to get promotion if he was going to stay in a job.
Yes, but Lionel did say that, but he didn't really mean it the way it came out. Lionel supports Roy as well.
There is a story that we're sure is right from our source, that Roy offered his resignation to you a couple of weeks ago and you turned it down.
At the Millwall match at the end of the game, Roy was obviously feeling pretty low, everyone on his back, and he said that if you want me to go, I mean, that was a private situation between myself, Roy and Michael Dumford. I'm amazed that that story has got out. I haven't even reported to the board yet. We're meeting tomorrow. But as far as I'm concerned, it was emotional, and I told Roy just to get on with the job.
Often the supporters have the final say, that when the supporters turn against a manager, at the moment they seem to have turned back with Roy, but when they turn against a manager, that really puts pressure on the board. Are you strong enough to stay with that?
Hopefully so, yes. I mean, we haven't had a board meeting for a long time, but I would feel that most people there support the manager.
So there we are. We've got it right from the chairman's mouth. Roy McFarlane is safe for the time being, and that's good news for Derby, I'm sure.
Gary's told us our jobs are safe, but you know how safe that means, don't you, Tony?
Now then,
right, coming from him, that one.
right from the chairman's
Yes.
mouth. But what have Derby County got to do now to justify
their traditional slow start, if you remember that this last year. I saw them against Middlesbrough a couple of weeks ago. They couldn't break Middlesbrough down. They needed Gabbiadini, and he's back today, and Williams is back, and I think they've strengthened their side. Their position is not accurate. I think they are better than that, and once they get going, as I've said earlier on, I think they'll finish higher than Swindon. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. They may, as they did last season, be cursing this poor start.
OK, well, we'll see. Well, so much for Derby County. Let's see what John Gorman, the Swindon manager, has to say about things. He's talking to Gary Newbold as well.
Made a really good start to the season, John. Why have you done so well?
I don't know, Gary. It's early days, to be honest. Just the same as last year. We felt we were playing similar type of football. Obviously, we're not losing goals, and that's the most important thing. We've had 4 clean sheets, and that's very, very important. And that gives you confidence. And from that, we've been looking good going forward. We're always a team that will make chances. Hopefully today, they will make chances. We've always had hard games against Derby. It's not always been our easiest of games, and we've been on TV before, and Derby always come out on top. And I'd like to change that today, but I know it'll be a hard game. I think Derby are a very good side. I respect their manager so much, and I really think they're a team that at the end of the season will be up there.
Now, the big problem, of course, last season, when they conceded 100 goals in the Premiership, and before that, even though they got promoted, their defence was creased. Now, this time, they haven't conceded a goal at home.
No, they haven't. They've done very well. And Fjortoft's played very well for them, hasn't he? He's got off to a great start. Looking forward to seeing Joey Beecham playing, see how he's fitting in there. Obviously, they've concentrated on their defence a little bit. They've had to, because the only way...
The writing was on the wall a bit, wasn't it?
The only way you're ever going to survive in football is, or the only way you're ever going to win anything, is you've got to have a strong defence, and clearly they're concentrating on that. I think they'll give Derby a little bit more of opportunity than Middlesbrough did. But having said that, of course, Middlesbrough lacked any class going forward, and I think that's where Swindon can actually cause a few problems to Derby, can't they? Because they are a good side going forward. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, there is a thought about Derby, isn't there, that having accumulated 10, 11 million pounds worth of players, that none of them would get their money back now if you try to sell them.
Well, I don't think you would. I think that'd be a very fair comment. The only way you was going to get your money back on the players was if they were Premier League players.
Yes.
They're not. It's possible, looking down, that 1 or 2 of them could go to Premier Leagues, but league clubs, but you wouldn't actually sort of say, oh, I'd have him and I'd have him for a couple of million quid.
Well, nobody's gone, have they?
Nobody's gone, and the investments are down, obviously. It's going to be an interesting game, though, Tan. I'm looking forward to it because I think both sides will go for each other because that's the best way they can actually go about winning.
OK, well, here come the players, here come the officials. Let's join David Pleat and Alan Parry at the county ground.
And welcome to the county ground on a cold and windy afternoon in Wiltshire, where the proceedings will begin with a minute's silence in honour of the late Billy Wright, a man whose popularity in the game was reflected by the warmth and sincerity of the tributes paid to him during the past few days. Billy, of course, a close friend to all of us at Central Television. We shall miss him. Well, a tribute that Billy would have been proud of, the silence impeccably observed. And now down to business and today's lineups. Swindon make one change from recent matches. The former West Ham player Kevin Horlock comes into midfield in place of young Wayne O'Sullivan, injured in the midweek Anglo-Italian Cup tie in Venice. Striker Keith Scott has recovered from the injury which forced him to leave the field during the 1-0 victory at Notts County a week ago. He'll play up front alongside Jan Fjortoft, who captained Norway for the first time in their 1-0 win against Belarus in the European Championship qualifier in midweek. Left-back Paul Bodin was also on international duty in the week. He played in Wales' 2-0 victory over Albania. Derby County, with only one win from 5 league games, are desperate to rescue something from today's match. They're already 9 points behind the leaders Middlesbrough, and remember, only one team will be automatically promoted from the First Division this season. They give a league debut to Lee Carsley, a 20-year-old midfield player, former youth team captain, who did well against Cesena in the Anglo-Italian Cup in midweek. And there's a welcome return for Marco Gabbiadini, who's back following a 3-game suspension. Today's referee is Gurnam Singh from Wolverhampton. Quick look at the substitutes. We've got on the Swindon bench Andy Much, Wayne O'Sullivan and Nicky Hammond, Paul Simpson, Darren Wassell and Steve Sutton for Derby County. Well, Swindon can actually go top of the table this afternoon, and that really would be a satisfying achievement for a club that never once got off the bottom of the league throughout the whole of their 9 months in the Premiership, in which they conceded exactly 100 league goals. What a contrast to this season. Swindon have kept a clean sheet in 4 of their 5 league games so far. So, David Pleat, it's pretty obvious where their improvements come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in for quite a fascinating game. It's so imperative for teams when they're relegated to restore morale quickly. And Swindon appear to have done that. 5 games, 10 points. And obviously, from Derby's point of view, the massive disappointment of failing in the playoffs, that can leave scars, and they'll need a good away result very quickly this season, because they've got some very good players, and I'm sure if they play to their full potential, they can do very, very well in this league this season.
Good atmosphere then at the very splendid looking county ground with its new stand and perfect playing pitch as Swindon, all in red, get us underway, attacking from right to left. First free kick of the game to the home side. The foul by Steve Hodge, who scored 2 against Cesena on Wednesday. He's on loan from Leeds United. Here's Paul Bodin. One back by Charles now for Leeds United, but Derby County. This is Kitson. Forward to Gabbiadini, gets his first touch on his return to the side. Cleared by Andy Thompson. Now Luke Nyholt for Swindon. This is Keith Scott. Just showed the ball too short, however he's got a free kick out of Craig Short's challenge. And it's a dangerous position, this. And Scott himself will be one of the dangers, and the two central defenders, Sean Taylor and Andy Thompson, also taking up positions towards the far post. And there's another problem for Derby. Fjortoft. Bodin whips it in, headed away by Williams. Bodin again. Cleared only as far as Joey Beecham. Scott's little header, and it looped towards Martin Taylor. And now Forsyth for Derby. Kitson up front, beaten to it by Andy Thompson. Gabbiadini gives it straight to Nyholt. And the Dutchman keeps possession for Swindon. Mark Robinson on their right. This is Forsyth. Porlock wins it back. The long ball by Thompson is aimed at Scott. It was well won by Williams. Thompson again, he's only 20, very assured looking player. Bodin. Fjortoft. Kept it going intelligently. Now Horlock. Fjortoft again making room, but Pembridge and Cowans just combined to dispossess him. Oh, that's a lovely ball by Gabbiadini. Kitson's got the pace to attack them here, and Pembridge has got forward well. Great save. Pembridge hit that superbly. Marvellous save by Fraser Digby.
Superb break by Derby. That's a lovely vision by Paul Kitson to give Pembridge the clear shooting opportunity. Fine save by Digby. Exciting start.
Lovely incisive move by Derby. It all happened so quickly. This is Bodin. Big Sean Taylor recovered from a head injury he got at Notts County. Got about 4 stitches in a head wound. Robinson on the right for Swindon. Brilliant goalkeeping here, David.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very good break, wasn't it? And he really got his feet well in line there. It was fairly straight at him, but it was some power. Pembridge has got a really strong left foot drive.
Beecham dispossessed by Pembridge, who got on as a substitute for Wales in midweek. Slid forward quickly to Hodge, but played in behind him. And Pembridge again wins it back. Now Kitson, Gabbiadini, chance of a shot again. Good challenge by Thompson. Derby looking very sharp in the opposition half early on here.
Yeah, it'll be a good test for the two Swindon centre-backs, the young player Andy Thompson, who's just come in, and Sean Taylor, who's a very good competitor. And there's no better movement between two front pairs in this league than the movement between Kitson and Gabbiadini.
Tommy Johnson still out injured, of course. A further option for Derby up front. They've got a number of injuries at the moment. The linesman's flagged for offside here. John Harkes still out as well with a calf injury, and neither Johnson or Harkes has completed a game yet for Derby this season. Well, he didn't make the best job of that back pass there, Paul Bodin, and Digby had to come out of his box to clear. Kitson. One back by Taylor. Now Martin Ling. Fjortov. Beecham to his right. Scott ahead of him, and he finds him with a good ball. And Scott's done well to turn Williams. The shot was well over the bar. He's going to have a handful today, Keith Scott, against Paul Williams, returning to the Derby side after a hamstring injury in the opening game, has kept him out since.
Very clever